Welcome to winter at the Zoo and Forest Park. A little icy today, but we're glad you're here. Today is a special day. It's 125 as the date to celebrate our 125th anniversary and to launch this very special year. For 125 years, the zoo has entertained and educated generations of local families. It's hard to find anyone when you go out into the community and talk to people about the zoo that doesn't have a fond memory of the time they've spent here inside our gates. As we move into our 125th year, we're actually encouraging members of the public to share their stories with us, share their memories. Send us old photos you may have when you came here as a child, birthday parties you may have thrown for your children. We want all of those memories. Tell us your favorite animal. Tell us the time period when you came here. We want to know what made this zoo and continues to make this zoo special for you. And while the zoo has changed over the years, its location has changed, its management, its animal collection, and its mission, it has remained a constant in our city. It is part of the fabric of our local culture. Did you know that Dr. Seuss's father was one of our zoo's first curators? Theodore Geisel spent many happy years at the zoo, time that served as an inspiration for characters in many of his books. As a matter of fact, his book, If I Ran the Zoo, was written based on his experiences here. We will spend the entire year remembering, celebrating, and reflecting on the past while also planning for the future. Today we are releasing a new 125th anniversary logo and announcing several special initiatives created in honor of this year. We have begun discussions with leadership at the Springfield museums to collaborate on several Dr. Seuss activities throughout the year, focusing on his connection to the Zoo and Forest Park. We have set our opening date for the 2019 season, which will be Saturday, March 30th. Of course, this is New England, so that date may change depending on the weather. We're hosting another wine safari this spring, a very popular event that pairs wines from around the world with animals from our zoo. We will expand and enhance our annual Brew at the Zoo, adding a homebrew competition element to this summertime event. Stay tuned for details regarding a nature and wildlife photography competition we will host this summer and a very special 125th anniversary dinner called Rendezvous we will host here in the fall. There are many, many more events and activities on the docket, but we don't want to give everything away right now. We can share that we're planning to unveil 3 new exhibits this year, but we're not going to tell you what they are yet. I'd now like to turn it over to Nathan Bascinet, President of the Forest Park Zoological Society's Board of Directors.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that we have fellow board member Alfonso Santinello here, and also our treasurer, Nunzio Bruno, who's in the audience. Thank you again, Sarah. As an organization, it's important to take time to reflect on where you've been, what you've accomplished, and how you've grown. We look forward to doing that this year. But as a board, we are also taking this opportunity to look ahead. Tomorrow, we are meeting to begin the process of creating a strategic plan for the zoo that will serve as a roadmap for the next 3 years. We are revisiting our mission statement, reaffirming our commitment to education, conservation, and rehabilitation. As we move forward with these 3 pillars as our guideposts, we anticipate launching new initiatives and new partnerships that will propel us forward. We are asking ourselves the hard questions. What should our zoo look like in 2019 and beyond? What are the industry trends? What is financially sustainable? What does the community want and expect from its local zoo? How do we fit into the remarkable renaissance Springfield is experiencing? We have made tremendous progress over the last 12 months under Sarah's wise leadership and the dedication of many, many board members, and we believe we are set up for success going forward.
Any questions?
Where are you financially?
We're in really good shape. We just finished our 2018 fiscal year. We run our fiscal year on the calendar year, so we don't have final numbers from 2018, but we are anticipating that we had a great year. Our attendance was up in 2018. We went from about 44,000 visitors in 2017 to about 55,000 visitors, so about 11,000 person increase from 2017 to 2018. So we think that once the final numbers are compiled, we'll be in good shape.
Are you balanced?
We are.
Okay.
We are balanced. We just created a new budget for 2019, obviously, as that just started on January 1st. And yes, we are looking at a balanced budget.
So you're not going to be going back probably to the city?
No, we haven't gone to the city in several years, and we certainly don't anticipate doing that. We did receive some state funding in the fiscal year 2019 budget. That's something we had received for many, many years in the past. That ended sometime in 2013, 2014 timeframe, and we will be seeking some additional funds this for 2020's fiscal year from the state.
And what is the budget here every year?
The 2019 budget is about $675,000.
Could you speak a little bit about the mission, kind of shifting much more to emphasize rehabilitation?
Absolutely. We're really proud of the shift in our focus in terms of our mission. The zoo's had a lot of iterations over the years, from a very exotic zoo to a petting zoo, and our focus now is really on those three pillars Nathan mentioned. The education piece. Caroline is our education director. We are really spreading our wings, getting out into the community. We have new collaborations. For example, we're working with Square One right now, and we are in their classrooms, three different classrooms now, bringing science-based curriculum. It's not just a show and tell. We're not just bringing animals, having the kids pet them, and leaving. Caroline's really leading a science-based curriculum that features our animals but talks about science concepts. We are working on a potential partnership with STIC as well this year, where we will be working with their early childhood education teachers potentially to bring some sort of training the trainer kind of activities around STEM curriculum. Another tenet we're working on is the whole rehabilitation piece. So we have made a concerted effort in 2018, and that will continue into the foreseeable future, certainly, to rescue animals. So animals that are living in sanctuaries, living in other zoos that have some sort of disability, have been injured, or for some other reason are non-releasable into the wild. Cherry is a great example of that, our little three-legged opossum who came here as a baby. She has 3 legs, she wouldn't survive in the wild, so she lives here now. So we're really focusing a lot on that piece. And we look at that too as an education piece, because people can get up close and personal with a lot of these animals. Cherry is very friendly, goes on a lot of our education programs. So we're really very committed to the rehabilitation and the conservation pieces. That includes different types of breeding programs we may be able to help with for animals that are endangered. We do have endangered species here at the zoo, and we're really looking to continue that focus along those 3 areas.
What's the most recent new exhibit? The Eagles?
It is the Eagles. They haven't officially been unveiled yet. That's how new they are, because we did get them very late in the fall. It was almost December before they arrived. They came in from Alaska. So we will be doing an official unveiling of the Eagle exhibit in the spring. We'll be involving the donors. That exhibit was made possible by a very generous group, as well as a local Eagle Scout who took that on as his Eagle project, an Eagle Scout with the Eagle exhibit. So it made a lot of sense. And so we will be doing a lot more around that exhibit, and that is one of the 3 new exhibits for 2019.
And the other 2, I'm not going to be able to guess.
No, you won't be able to guess if you tried. But we're really excited about it. We put a lot of thought into it and about what fits in with our zoo. We're not just looking at whatever animals are out there and available. We're really looking at what makes sense for our collection, what makes sense for our zoo in terms of climate, in terms of space constraints. We want to make sure that it's an appropriate place for the animals, and not just going out and getting some big animal that would be a big crowd pleaser but may not make a lot of sense here.
Can you speak a little bit about how your numbers obviously went up when people go to the zoo? The zoo also goes to other people. Can you talk about during the winter months, the Zoo on the Go?
So Zoo on the Go is a year-round program, which is great since our gates are closed and we don't have that revenue coming in during the winter. The Zoo on the Go education programs are really our only financial program through the winter months. We, of course, have very generous donors that help us through the winter as well, but without those education programs, it would be very difficult to run the zoo. And Caroline does a great job in getting out into the community, working with schools, working with libraries. We're in senior centers, we're in senior living facilities. We are in businesses, people's homes. We do a lot of birthday parties, even during the winter. So we are very, very active. And there are some weeks we're doing 10 to 12 programs a week in the winter. So it's a very active program. It's continuing to develop. It's very, very focused on education, not just show and tell. I can't stress that enough, because I think that's another change we've experienced over the last year, and really making it a meaningful meaningful experience and not just a here's an opossum, pet it, and we leave. I don't know if you want to say anything about the education programs. Come over.
Yep. I think it's really important that we've started kind of reaching out to communities that are maybe not financially able to visit the zoo and attend the zoo on a regular basis, especially within the city of Springfield, because that's where we are so commonly tied to. And so it's really important, like our partnership with Square One, we are getting to see a lot of these kids who have never been to see us before. And so it's really great to be able to reach out to those communities that haven't had a chance to come to us before now.
Your friend is awesome.
She is. So Cherry is one of the rehabilitated animals that Sarah had been mentioning before. She came to us from a facility where she had been injured and she actually had one of her back legs amputated. You can tell, though, by her climbing and skittering around, she is not debilitated by that in any sense of the word being here at the zoo. But in the wild, she wouldn't have been able to hunt as effectively or escape a predator that was trying to get her. She wants to go up here. I'm going to let her do that. So she now is one of our most popular and most requested animals for our Zoo on the Go programs because she is a native animal, and people really like seeing the things that they see in their backyard. And so that's an opportunity that we have to kind of discuss the different things that people may not know about certain animals that we have.
I'll put on my 8-year-old hat. What does Sherry eat?
Cherry, her favorite food is actually cherries. So cherries, different fruits and vegetables. She obviously likes the fruits much more than she likes the vegetables. The fruits are sweeter and taste a lot better. She also gets a variety of wet dog food as well as part of her diet. So she really, in the wild, would eat anything and is similar here as well.
Do they really play dead?
I have never seen this one do it, but in the wild, in an instant where that would be a concern, that is definitely something that happens. But Cherry is really comfortable with everyone that she meets. When she was injured, she was only about 2 months old. She was just a little bit bigger than the size of my hand. And so she was hand-raised from that point on. So she loves people. Her favorite thing to do is to sit with me up in the office while I do my paperwork upstairs. So she's very, very friendly.
So we will certainly be reaching out again as we have updates and new exhibits and other things that are going on. But just to reiterate, 125 years is pretty impressive, although it's not always been in this location, and it hasn't always been managed by a nonprofit board of directors. At one point, of course, it was for a long time city managed. We have been on our own as a nonprofit for decades, and we really have a wonderful board of directors and staff ready to take us into the next 125.